Okay, so this is my Crestie Bioactive tank. I've had it running for almost a year now. There should be more growth in this tank, but I've had to move plants around, take plants out, buy new ones. So a lot of the plants in here are actually still relatively new. There's only a handful of plants that were the original planting. So, but the ones that were, I'll show you what they are, and they've actually grown a bunch. So we're gonna get in a little closer here. So first thing I want to talk about is the drainage layer. In tropical tanks, you need to have some form of hard drainage layer, some form of barrier, and then your soil. I have expanded clay balls in mine. I know people use lava rocks, they use hard egg crates, they use aquarium gravel. Regardless of what you use, you need a drainage layer in a tropical tank, because if your soil gets oversaturated, the extra water can go down here and re-evaporate up. If you don't have this bit in here, the extra water sticks in your soil and it gets really swampy, and you lose, like, you have to switch out all of it. So it can become a real pain. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is lighting. So depending upon your habitat, you will need UV lighting. It may only be requested or recommended, not required, or maybe it is required. UV will not help your plants grow. UV will burn leaves. And my pothos back there has actually started to get leaf burn from the UV light since I put it in, and it's only been in for 2-3 weeks. So what you need for plants is a good plant light, and that is 6500 K temperature bulb or a high PAR rating. I'm in the US and I found that PAR rating is really hard to find, so I try to go with temperature, but even that's been hard to find. If you can't get your hands on something like that, Jungle Dawn LEDs are just like the creme de la creme, best light out there for plants. So get one of those, they're worth it. So that's lighting. It's definitely important that you have correct lighting for your plants, otherwise they're not going to get what they need from the light and they're not going to grow. Okay, so what type of plants do I have in this tank? I have a spider plant, a really young one down here that I just started growing. I have snake tongue back here, and then behind that is a peperomia. I have ficus vine, wax plant, another snake plant, and then up back here I have a pothos. I have a couple of air plants, one here, one back there, another one like hidden underneath everything in the wall, and then it's really hard to see, so I'm gonna like move you, but right back there is a dwarf palm as well. I also have some moss growing, kind of. I thought I'd give it a whirl. It's kind of growing, works for me. So what I have in here is a substrate blend, and I'm going to go over substrate blends in a different video, but I also have a bunch of leaf litter. I also have just pieces of wood in here for my cleanup crew. So I'm going to turn this wood over so you can see them, because they're actually really good at hiding. So on the underside of this hunk of wood, there are a bunch of isopods. There's also a bunch of springtails, and I don't know if you can see some of them or not, but I have all native species. I have no idea what they are. Some are speckled, some have white spots, some are like a purpley blue, some are all black. So I don't really know, and you can maybe see, yeah, a bunch of springtails bouncing around there. There were a few worms in here at one point in time. I think I need to throw some more in here just to like reestablish that. But that is it for my cleanup crew. I don't have anything else in here, and my tank doesn't smell at all. So that is my basic setup for this tank. Basic substrate, basic lighting, basic drainage layer. So I think it's time we find the Crestie. He's hiding right back there, but I'm not gonna bug him. So that is it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, I guess, or, you know, somehow get a hold of the Raps group. So yeah, bye bye.